Last week I accomplished something that I thought for me was outside the realms of possibility, competing at a World Championships. Now of course I was not representing Team GB or any other nation for that matter. Instead I was flying the flag of Team Riptide, a relay put together by the legend himself, James Gibson. Alongside me and James was World Aquatics commentator and one of the most versatile swimmers of all time, Bobby Hurley, and the man doing all the brilliant punditry from poolside at these meets, John Mason. We went up against some fierce competitors, including a Hungarian team that were anchored by Richard Bohus, who at the 2017 Long Course World Championships in this pool anchored the Hungarian team with a 46.9. In case you're new here, that's me sitting over there, Sonny Trigg, aka the Swimsuit Guy. A swimmer turned coach who was meant to be at the World Championships, just not as a swimmer, but a staff member or team official for the Estonian national team, because I am indeed a coach of this man right here, Gregor Zirk, who had a phenomenal World Championships, most notably setting a new national record in the 200 butterfly. I also help out with the coaching of Siobhan Haughey, who also had a brilliant meet, winning the 200 freestyle for the third time in a row with a massive time of 150.6. Beyond that, this meet was phenomenally fast with 30 world records set. So I am at the 2024 World Short Course Championships in Budapest. This is one of the team areas and I've had to walk down to the call room because I'm racing. I'm racing not at the event obviously, but a media relay for a team consisting of me, Bobby Hurley, James Gibson and John Mason. It's a 4x50 freestyle relay. I know there's some real competitors. There's an ex-Hungarian swimmer who was is on the Hungarian team who was very fast. Elizabeth Byes was on one of the teams. So yeah, I've got an Arena Primo in the new colourway. I'm going to put it on and let's go do this. So the actual racing has just finished in the morning. This is like the first call room. I think I'm meant to be in there. The coaches are leaving from the medley relay that just happened. The race that we're in is down there, but we're stuck here. My anchor leg is going on to poolside. I'm gonna go find James. Here he is.
Oh,
full
it's
kit.
on, it's ready, let's go.
Foil cap, speed sockets, laser valors.
Lasers.
There's
Goggles.
Where's Bobby? Where's Bobby?
he's commentating.
Yes, he was actually doing some work.
So we've encountered an issue. Bobby Hurley, our lead-off leg, was commentating, and we've not got him. Heat 1 have gone, we're in Heat 2. And lead-off leg.
But we're going.
Bobby has arrived. Size 24 suit.
24?
Yeah, 24.
It's not 2010 here.
I'm doing the World Championship experience here. We're in the final call room. The boys are looking sharp. Jesus. He's got energy for 4 of us, John. Bobby has done this before many times.
Yeah.
We're back. We're back at World Championship level.
Bobby just finished working 3.5 minutes ago.
So, boys out there now. This is the last tunnel. Bobby's going no breath.
Yeah.
Me and Bobby going no breath.
I can't commit. I can't. I'll attempt.
James is going for the gallop.
I just need to finish.
Yes.
Just need to finish without shoulder injury. How you go on the manager gallop? 2s.
Before we go any further and watch the race, I do just want to talk to you about today's video sponsor, TryHard. And if you watched my previous video, which was a Christmas gift guide, I featured this brand, even though it wasn't sponsoring the video, because I love the products. This is my personal favourite, their body wash, which has red algae, dead sea minerals, natural aloe vera extracts, and feels so good on your skin. This is their shampoo, which I also love, as it not only gets rid of that odour of chlorine, but also stops your hair getting all dry and bristly, which when you swim every single day of the week, sometimes twice, that's what happens. Your hair gets horrible, and this prevents it alongside their awesome conditioner. They have some other great products as well, such as their eye gel and face wash, and if you use discount code SONNY, that's all capitals, you can save 22% off your next order.
And finally, winning on the wall, represented by Hurley, the swimsuit guy, Gibson, and Mr. John Mason.
And away we go, leading off with Australia's Bobby Hurley. Now Bobby has an absolutely decorated career. Not only did he once hold the world record in the short course 50 backstroke, but he represented Australia in the 4, the 8 and the 1500 freestyle long course, making him, in my opinion, one of the most versatile swimmers there's ever been to hold a sprint world record all the way to competing for your country in a long distance event. Bobby got us a nice lead with a 23.6 on the opening leg and passed over to me. And I'm not nearly as decorated as either Bobby or James, who's going to dive over the top of me, but I did recently break a Masters world record in the 4x100 freestyle relay and was pulling away from the Hungarian next to me as I come in with a 23.3 and hand it over to James. Oh my God, every time I see that, I think it's ridiculous. The old school hitch kick, no cap in an arena primo, and it's all stroke rate for James Gibson. This is his first race since the World Championships in 2009, and he looks brilliant, flying down the first 25. And James has serious pedigree. He's won world titles in breaststroke and he's been a multiple Olympian for GB. And then he passes over to John Mason, who does a step-in takeover into a Tom Daley-esque high dive. And we still have a lead over the Hungarians, who have the big man himself, Richard Bohus, who's already brought that gap to nothing, as with 25 to go, they touch together, Richard and John, but the underwater from Richard off the wall leaves John behind. But John done a brilliant effort. He was actually saying before the race he prefers long course because they don't have a tumble turn. And John's not a swimmer. He does CrossFit. He does a brilliant job with his knowledge on poolside, but he doesn't have a background in swimming. And going sub 30 like he did there is no easy feat.
James, how was it and how much blame do you place on John Mason?
Honestly, I felt a little bit let down. But no, we came to win. But we'll see you in Singapore. We'll see you in Singapore.
We'll see you in Singapore. John, how was it? I know you've been in really hard training and to get a runners-up spot, maybe not so good, but how was it?
Yeah, you know, it was great. I came into that 25 came with that wall, and I saw Richard with his underwaters, and I was like, oh my God, we are so done. We are so done. But it was so fun. Thanks for the press, you're amazing.
Give it up for your LOC 18!
I hope you've been enjoying the video so far, and instead of bringing it to an abrupt ending with the last clip, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about this experience because I was too busy on the day to wrap up the video then and there, so I want to wrap it up now. And I mean, first and foremost, this was a super cool experience. We got the finals experience. So if you swim in a heat, you don't get the same walkout with the turning floor where you end up in that sort of tunnel before you come out. And that tunnel was mega intimidating. It was dark. It was, you know, it's not like soundproof. So you can hear the arena, you can hear the applause, you can hear them announcing the competitors you're against. So I can just imagine if you're in like a heat with a world record holder, you're going to hear, and in lane 3, the world record holder, Jordan Crooks, and you're going to be like, oh my God, like that's pretty stressful. The actual turning door was super exciting itself. Yeah, like you walk out and this is the bright lights and you walk up to the pool deck, and yeah, it was a kind of crazy experience. And I want to move on actually racing, and like I know a lot of people talking about the Paris pool and some of the things that maybe cause it to be slower, and a lot of people talking about like all the camera rigging on the floor and stuff, and I'm not talking about whether it's faster or slower because they had it here on this pool, and this pool was clearly fast by all intents and purposes. Well, we'll get to that in a second, but the 30 world records would suggest it's fast. But you dive in and there's like all this camera stuff, there's cameras tracking you, there's cameras underwater, you're like, whoa, it's really quite overwhelming and distracting. For like, I've raced in a lot of pools all around the world, from Dubai to the UK to South Africa, but never obviously raced at anything like this with underwater cameras, because, I mean, I've raced at British Olympic trials. I can't remember anything like that there. I mean, I doubt they had it at Olympic trials. Yeah, it was, again, I'm not making excuses for performance or anything like that. I'm not really talking about performance. I'm just saying it was like another thing that you're like, oh, and it's kind of crazy that all these guys that we watch and we talk about, and people like coach, like Siobhan and Gregor and Chad, they're all just like probably numb to this. They dive in and don't even notice these things. But for me, because it was that first time, I was like, wow, this is insane. And yeah, I really enjoyed my look behind the curtain at what their experience on a daily basis is like. And it doesn't surprise me that some people use that adrenaline to go faster than ever before and set a world record, like, you know, having 30 times last week. But also it doesn't surprise me that some people falter under that pressure. In terms of the race itself, I thought it was actually really fun. I didn't know what the competition was like. You know, there was the likes of Olympic medalists involved with the likes of Elizabeth Beisel on other teams. Obviously the Hungarians we'd been told about, they were all swimmers, they were all suited up. Some teams didn't suit up or cap up, but the Hungarians were all suited up, and they had this legend, Richard Bohus, on the anchor leg, who says he's not been swimming, but since he retired, but he only retired a couple of years ago. So he ended up splitting 22.4 on their anchor. And he said he eased up, and I watched back the video and was like, to be fair, he does look like he just glides into the wall. So yeah, eased up on a 22.4. John, our anchor leg, done a fantastic job, not only for team morale and walkout and all the other brilliant stuff he done, but I don't think, if you're not a swimmer, I can underestimate how impressive it is to go sub 30. Like, for him to stand up, I think he was 29.2 or 29.1. That's a freaking good job to go sub 30. He wasn't sure if he was going to tumble turn, but he ripped one. He done a step-in takeover. I mean, his takeover, in terms of technicality, was better than James's, who just done the old school style. He actually done the step-in style. And he got involved. Like, I think he went out a little hot on the first 25, and it paid a little bit, but he was in the lead, and he turned with 25 to go with, well, a world finalist in Richard. So, or Richie they call him. The ASU coaches call him Richie. I think he's from ASU. So yeah, I think John done a fantastic leg. I was very impressed by James putting that 25.2 together. Again, I've done some really cool things this year. I've raced on a relay, not only with my dad, but I've also raced on a relay with James and Brett Hawke. Both of them, it was their first race since they retired. So for Brett, it was his first race since the Commonwealth Games 2006. And James, it was his first race since Worlds 2009. So both of them things are really cool to me. I'm pro swimming as a life sport. I know I never had a international career to retire from, but I always like it when people want to and enjoy getting back in. James loved this experience. Brett loved our relay back at Indianapolis. So I'm really happy that both of them loved it. And I know James is super keen to this relay again in Singapore, as this relay happens at every meet or international meet like this. What I didn't know is those championship records. So actually the Hungarians destroyed the championship record. So again, more reason to train and come back faster. Lastly, on pool fastness, a lot of people actually messaged me saying, was the pool 24 meters, or why was it so fast? And well, I'll leave you with this insight. I split 23.3 on this relay. I did get a little warm up, a couple of hundred, not a proper warm up, but a little one. I had a brand new Arena Primo on, loved that suit, and I went 23.3. 4 weeks ago now, 3 weeks before that race, I went 23.2 flat start, and a couple weeks before that, I went 22.2 on a relay. So I was 1.1 seconds slower than I was in Ponds Forge 5 weeks before this race. Now, albeit after I done the 23.2 flat start at Intercounties, there's vlogs of all these meets if you want to look back, but after I went that 23.2, I didn't swim until the day before this meet. So, well, I went for a little 1500 paddle with James in the training warm-up pool in Budapest. I had a little break from swimming, so I hadn't swum. So obviously, I'm not comparing apples and pears, or I'm not comparing apples to apples, I'm comparing apples and pears. But if I dived in with that break and gone 21.8, I'd have been like, okay, this pool might be fishy, but I had a second. So I know why I was slow, but the pool, I don't think aided. I think I'd been 23.3 any pool in the world personally. Well, any proper pool in the world. So yeah, there's my little insight into racing at a World Championships. really cool. Love that World Aquatics put this on each year, and I wish that they publicised it or televised it. I think people would be interested to know, especially when there's a lot of public figures now racing in it. You know, people would love to see James do it, and John Mason do it, and Bobby Hurley do it, and Elizabeth Beisel do it, and Richie Bohus do it, and I'm sure I'm missing out other people that done it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Cheers to Try Hard for sponsoring this video. Hit the like button, subscribe, and as always, I'll see you on the next one. Happy Christmas. This will probably go online after Christmas, but it's right now the 21st. So happy Christmas.